Yo, 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 what's up, what's up? Welcome to Neighborhood Politics. I am your host today, Miss Yaya. We are here with the big dog, big dog.
Right.
The big dog.
Right.
Q, Mr. Q. Like, let's give him his applause. Yeah.
Right.
So what's going on, Mr. Q? Like, why are we here? What's going on? What's this consistent of? Like, let me know what's going on at this moment.
So this is going to be the first episode of Neighborhood Politics. This is something that I felt like here for a while now. I wanted to get going, somewhat of a movement. I'm gonna consider a podcast. I want to do a little youth mentor program, a lot of stuff for the community. But I wanted to first start off by introducing myself and letting the people know who is going to be the person behind the cameras a lot of times on Neighborhood Politics. Intel on myself because I want to be able to interview a lot of the black men in the community, the youth, the upbringing, the youth coming up. So I felt like it was necessary for me to get interviewed first in order to do that.
So you feel like people, like you said, need to know the face behind the camera and just to get a visual.
Yeah, I felt like that was important. I felt like it would give the people some more to relate to, you know what I'm saying? So I felt like, I watch a lot of interviews myself, and a lot of times, personally, I probably haven't ever seen an interview to where I first heard the introduction of the person who was doing the interview. So I felt like giving the people a face and giving the people a story behind why I'm doing what I'm doing could possibly draw in more of an audience, and for some more people to relate to. Just give somebody just give a visual. I feel like that was important.
Mm-hmm. So like when you watching these interviews, you more like a visual. You like a visual, and you can hear, and then you also like you. So somebody can show you and tell you, but you also have to see it.
Right.
It gets you more in tune to see a person's
Right.
body language.
Right.
And just being able to see it move. I get that, because watching interviews are for sure something that I enjoy doing. Like, the Breakfast Club, we done watched some real good interviews there. We just watched some interviews the other day. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you got some interviews too. You got some people that's cool with just, audios, in which I'm gonna do audios as well.
Mm-hmm.
You got some people that like, to see, so I feel like I'm gonna mix it up. Sometimes it's gonna be interviews to where I'm specifically talking to somebody else, giving them their roses. That's big on me right now. I want to start giving people their roses. I want to be able to sit down and talk to the young kids and that have no direction right now, or that's kind of
So that's who you're going to be interviewing. So who are you going to be interviewing? I heard you say, you want to have a mentorship program, and I hear you say the name Neighborhood Politics, but it's like, what is this going to consist fully of? Like, who are you interviewing? When you say Neighborhood Politics, what you saying? Like, because when I hear politics, I'm hearing like politicking like a conversation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
Some people hear politics and they think of, democracy. Or...
Yeah, we definitely not. Right now, until, what I will say is, I'm not leaning from it, you know what I'm saying? Because that's big in our community. Politics in general, that's big in our community. Right now, I'm not too educated and knowledgeable of that specific topic. I want to learn about it to where I can sit down and we can have a table full of black men, black women, and we can sit down, we can talk about that. But when I say politics right now, I'm thinking of just strictly politics. And we sitting there, we coming together and we politicking. We coming together with ideas. You ask who I was going to be interviewing. I don't want to say no names right now, but I definitely got a few names in mind that I'm thinking of. But black men, I want to reach out specifically to black men in the community. A lot my age, I want to reach out to cats that's older than me. I want to reach out to the younger homies. I want to reach out to the homies that's locked up. I'm gonna have some voice interviews. I got some phone call interviews that I got lined up. I want to just give the voiceless a voice. Like.
Right.
And that's big to me, because a lot of times we stereotype and we got this whole persona or this whole imagination over the black community that, we making poor decisions and whatnot, and we whatever the case may be. But I want to be able to give our brothers and our sisters, what I'm saying, like I say, specifically our brothers, but I'm not going to shy away from the women either. But I want to give specifically the black men voice to be able to say, okay, yeah, I chose this path, or this path chose me. but this is my story behind it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We not here to bash. We not here to we ain't on no type of federal stuff, no weird police stuff. I just want to sit down and talk to you and be like, okay, if this is the path that chose you, if this is what it's going to be, you know what I'm saying? Is there anything that we can do to change that? You know what I'm saying? So I got a lot of mind, you know, but hopefully things can work out and we get to what I'm, you know what I'm saying, what I'm imagining, you know?
No, really, because that's very, very important. We don't have that going on right now. You know, it's not that many people that are even trying to hear the voiceless. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, sometimes people paths choose them, their situations and circumstances that they were raised up in. You know, some people beat the odds. You know, some people, you know, like, you know, just as a black man in America, I know how you talk about how it could be, you know, difficult. You know, you went to school, you played basketball, you got 2 degrees, you are now a teacher.
Right.
You know, how does that feel? Like, tell me a little bit more about that. Let me know a little bit more about you. Like, now we switching gears to learning about you. You were a teacher, you graduated. What colleges did you go to?
Man, it's surreal for real because I never in my life imagined being where I am today. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. So it's surreal because, like you said, I graduated. I got 2 degrees. One from my undergrad, K-State, you know, HBCU, you know, support them black colleges.
Okay.
Support the black colleges, but yeah, HBCU. And then I started off at Wright State, you know, that was wild times. I started off at Wright State.
Oh, you a trader.
Yeah, I started off at Wright State, close to where actually my rival is, Central State. I started off at Wright State, did a year up there. Mm-hmm. It was rough though, you know. I had to get up out of there. Did a year at Wright State, then I went to K-State. Mm-hmm. Ended up doing 4 or 5 years. Mm-hmm. Got my undergrad. Ended up doing going to EKU. Got my master's. And
not to cut you off. What did you get your undergrad in? And then what did you, when you went to EKU, what did you get your master's in?
So I got my undergrad in physical education. I tried to do it's funny because I'm a teacher now. Mm-hmm. Well, when I first got to school, I didn't even have no idea of what I was going to school for. That's just real. I didn't even know I was going to school out of high school. Mm. It was just one of them things to where when I came back to the school that I had transferred from, mm-hmm. a lot of the homies was already, you know, it was the 4th quarter. I literally transferred back to my high school, Northland, mm-hmm. where I teach at now. I transferred back to Northland.
So you went to Northland and now you're teaching
there?
Yeah,
I teach there, yep.
Oh, man.
Yep, so I teach there. So I transferred back there. Upon transferring back there, like I said, it was 1 quarter. I just had to transfer back to graduate with the homies. I couldn't do it. I was at Central, Westerville Central. It was cool, but I just needed to be with the homies. Okay. So I transferred back. A lot by then, like I said, it was the 4th quarter. Everybody had kind of already picked schools. I didn't know nothing about really. I hooped, but I had no idea that I wanted to go to school. It was like by now I was like, okay, this hoop stuff over with. In all actuality, I'm thinking I might just cut hair in the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? That was really my dream. Like, I'm about to become a precise barber, and that's what I'm about to do. I like cutting hair. You know what I'm saying? I had that. But then I was like, you know what? Let me just give this school stuff a shot. Because all the homies was going. I didn't have no... It was a set of us that was going to Wright State. It was a set of homies that was going to Toledo. Rest in peace to my brother Treese. He went to Akron. I think somebody else may have went up there. He may have went up there by himself, but it was like 5 of us that went to Wright State and 5 people that went. That was I'm talking about. That was our clique of graduating 2011. Some of them went to Toledo. Treese went to Akron. Had no idea, went to Wright State, didn't pick no degree, went up there, was fooling, you know what I'm saying, getting into a lot of trouble. Transferred to K-State. Mm-hmm. I hooped, you know what I'm saying. I knew I hooped. I had got put on with a coach, so I started, they put me in just physical education. I ain't, you know, that's going to be another topic, you know, if, you know, somebody do, but I just went to physical education. They threw me in there. K-State is a small school. They threw me in there at physical education because that was where all the hoopers went. That was the degrees, all the classes, the gym. It's a small school, so I went the physical education route. I tried to do teaching. That's what I was going to say. I did do the teaching thing, but I was like, oh, no, this ain't going to work. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, no, this ain't going to work. So
Why you say it wasn't going to work?
Man, I was in class with one of my homeboys, D, shout out to him, man, and we was in there. Man. Yeah, he a clown. We was in there. We both tried to do this together. We went in there. I'm sure he remember. We went in there, and it was just... we looked at each other. The teacher was talking about all these practices and all the extra tests and community hours that we had to do, and we was like, oh, and then he a clown, so we was like, oh, nah, this ain't gonna work. Boom. Next day we went back to the coach. Hey, coach, put us back in physical ed, non-teaching. You know what I'm saying? Went that route, graduated, got up out of there, transferred to EKU, got my master's in sports administration. Really ain't have no idea of what I wanted to do with that. It was just the fact of, actually, I met my girlfriend who's doing the interview. I met her, you know what I'm saying, at K-State. So I knew I didn't really want to go back to the crib yet, because we started going out my senior year, her sophomore year. So I'm like, shit, I can't go back to school. I can't go back to the crib. I just made a commitment. So, yeah, blind, went to EKU just off the strength of that. Got my master's. Up there, I started doing some little subbing and stuff. Working with kids with special need, boom, which led me to that little passion a little bit. I had kind of did some little stuff back in my undergrad with some little volunteering. Led me back to Columbus, got my degree, or got a license, ended up teaching, getting a blessing. One of my dudes, shout out to Drew, he put me on at Northland where I graduated from, like we said, and he's a alum of Northland as well. So we kind of in there, you know what I'm saying, kind of trying to get some more, but ended up back at Northland. And then here we are, you know, intervention specialist.
So you would say that everything, so, and this is, you know, you believe in God.
Yeah, for sure.
So you don't believe in coincidences. You don't believe in nothing happening for not a reason. You know, it's something, you know, everything happens for a reason.
Everything from being at Rice State, to getting into fights, to getting locked. Up until Rice State, I never went to jail in my life. That's the if y'all know Q. If you know me, if you watching this, you know me. I never went to jail. You know what I'm saying? Rice State, I think I went to jail 3 times. 3 times. The only out of the 5 of us that went there, I was the only one. You know what I'm saying? Which is cool. But we was rolling together. You know what I'm saying? We was rolling together, but it's like, dang, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? I remember the last time it was like a movie. I'm like, man, my life is a movie right now. My mom was like mad at me, you know what I'm saying? Like, this my last time coming up there. You know what I'm saying? If whatever, you know what I'm saying? Just pretty much saying, like, you up there tripping. Whatever happens, happens. If you gonna get locked up down there, you gonna get locked up. I ain't about to keep coming up and down this road for your little court dates.
Right.
At that time, something clicked to me, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, and I told her, I remember I had to talk to her. She was mad at me, yelling at me, being a black mom, you know, loving. I'm like, Mom, you know, everything that's happened to me is happening for a reason, you know what I'm saying? I got put on probation. You know, I ain't never been on probation. Got put on probation. Had to stop smoking. I was a heavy smoker, you know. Got put on probation, went cold turkey, you know. But to your God, I always wanted to kind of stop. I knew it was consuming my life. And then by God's grace, that happened. I looked at that as a blessing. Instantly, I went cold turkey. You can ask any of the homies. I never turned back. I can sit around a room full of gas, and I will not hit the weed. I hit it on my nigga's Treese's birthday. Like I said, rest in peace to him, you know. But other than that, I won't smoke no weed. And that's been years. So for sure, I believe in God. I definitely believe everything that happened to me from the time I was prior, but Rice State on was destiny for sure.
So what would you say what led you to K-State? Like, I know you said you left Rice State, but what motivated you, or how did you get in that position to go to K-State? What opportunities was presented to you for you to be able to do that?
And so it's funny because, like I said, I was at Northland. I hooped. I was on a state championship team, but it was a lot of stuff going on up there, man. We was up there having fun. I was in high school. We was in high school causing havoc, but not in a real aggressive. We was just being kids, you know what I'm saying? We was having fun at school. We was coming there, turned up, high, drunk, early in the mornings, having fun, you know what I'm saying? I remember my freshman or my sophomore year, like I said.
In high school or college?
High school.
Okay.
We all decided to get dreads, you know what I'm saying, all at once. So it was about 15 of us. 10 to 15 of us that all grew out our dreads. It wasn't a good look to who my coach was. He ain't like that. He ain't like that we was coming to school and we wasn't just solely focused on basketball, which growing up I can see now, but I disagree with how he went about it though. So that's neither here or there. Boom, I end up having to transfer to go to a school called Westville Central. Another blessing, you know what I'm saying, speaking to God. Mom Dukes happened to move down 161, a street called 161, if you're familiar with Columbus. Moved down 161 by coincidence. I got kicked out of the district. But at the same time, my coach had already said if I come back, my boy Jizzle come back, my cousin D come back, and Vont come back, that we wasn't gonna make the squad as a whole. No matter the talent, what we just wasn't gonna make it. He said he on this part of our program. Boom. So that happened all in one. You know what I'm saying? I still didn't have no intent on really transferring, but it was just like, man, but then that happened. I got kicked out of the district off rip just because it was a whole new. I didn't move to a different public school area. I moved out the district a little bit. Excuse me. So that led me to Restville Central, where I ended up hooping, killing, and then I met this probably the first white man. Of course, the head coach was white. Coach Minnie, shout out to him. And then we got an assistant coach, Coach G, my boy. You know, to this day, my boy developed a good relationship with him. He had some connects. So when I was up at Wright State fooling, having the ball at the time of my life, I think I reached out to him, or maybe my mom reached out, or somehow we got back connected. Like, hey, this stuff at Wright State ain't working. He about to flunk out up here pretty much. He getting in too much trouble. Is there anything you can do? Shout out to Coach G. He had some connects, reached out to a few colleges, and then that's how I ended up at K-State. That's how I ended up at K-State, the second shot.
Okay. So you said one of the main things that you said was that you never thought that you would be where you are today.
Right.
And even just going to college. Specifically, if you could just name like one thing, because I can relate. For instance, for me, I would say I didn't think I would go to college because I just thought college was just for smart kids. I didn't think I was dumb, but I just thought college was for a specific set of kids, and I didn't see it often. Nobody in my family went to college. I had a cousin that went to college, but she didn't finish, or I just didn't see nobody. I didn't never see nobody graduate from college or anything like that. So I know that's why I didn't. For
sure, son, we don't see often, for sure.
Right. Okay. So what would you say specifically as to why you like, dang, I didn't even think I would do it, because you are a very smart individual.
I just think I never had someone to talk. I never had the person in my ear to tell me about college. Like my mom, like you, so same situation. No one in my family went for it to be like, okay, this is why you gotta go to college. Boom, boom, boom. I didn't really have that, so it was never really important for me to go to college. Like I said, it was just the homies. When I came back to Northland, and the homies was like, okay, yeah, we all applied to Wright State. Let's go there. We about to turn up. I was like, bet, let's do it. Not with no intentions on really realize I'm about to take out these loans. Mom Duke's about to have to get a loan in her name. Not really realizing nothing. It was just spur of the moment, a last minute decision. Wright State accepted me, and I was there. Only school I ever applied for.
So I get that. I truly get that. Like, you said you had nobody to guide you, or that had that conversation with you, and that brings me to you saying you want to do a mentorship program.
Right.
How impactful or how important do you think it is to be a mentor to the youth?
I feel like it's super important. I feel like if I would have had, not to say that I didn't really have, because I had a lot of big bros. I consider if you looked out for me, no matter, you a big bro to me, you know what I'm saying? I ain't the one to act like somebody, no big homie. I ain't the one to be shy to be like, oh, not call somebody big bro. You big bro. So I know the importance of it, So me feeling like, me specifically now being in a high school and having a little bit more wisdom that I got now that I didn't have.
Right.
I know the importance of having somebody in your corner. And then, like I said, specifically with me being in a high school and being an intervention specialist, working with kids with, specific needs, I know how I'm seeing how the system working, and I'm seeing how one decision. Well, I've always seen that is just by God's grace. I was able to, that anointing on, on my life that I was cool. Everybody say like, man, you was able to kick, you was able to smoke, but you was still able to get your work done. I don't know how. I don't know how, but it happened.
It was in you.
But I seen cats that was just like me, that was hanging with me, that things went a different route for them, you know what I'm saying? So I know the importance of having that role model or a big bro or, or somebody in your life to be able to try to help steer you into a right direction.
Right. So it's important to be, mentors. What we say, mentors save lives.
Mentors save lives, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because I definitely could relate to that too. I had a mentor, and I feel like she was one of the best things that. One of the best people,
right,
and things that happened in my life to get me to where I am today as well. So I definitely believe in mentors. So I definitely believe that being a mentor and developing that program will be like one of the best things for you.
Right.
Now, it's a lot that I need to touch on in such short time. But the first thing I want to touch on is Black Lives Matter shirt. We both have on our Black Lives Matter shirt. Sure. What does Black Lives Matter mean to you?
More life. For real, like ever since I was a kid, you can ask my mom, and I don't know what it was. And I don't want to get on here and sound all crazy, but so I'm gonna try to pick how I say my words. Yeah. But yeah, I always been on that. Like it ain't never been no other side for me. I'm big on that. No
gray area.
No, it's no gray area. Like
at all.
No gray area. I'm gonna leave it at that. No gray area. I ain't gonna say nothing that's gonna be like, oh, he tripping. But no gray area.
Okay.
Black Lives Matter to me mean everything. I went to a small HBCU, that was big, but just with everything that's going on right now, man, and doing whatever the little studying that I did, and trying to find out our history, and just the love and appreciation that I've always had for the skin that I'm in. It means everything to me. Like I said, it means more life. Like it's important.
That's real. Okay, so like you also said, you want to talk to people you're going to talk to people that's incarcerated.
For sure.
You have bros.
Free the homies.
Free the homies. That's what we saying. Free the homies. Okay, free the homies.
No, free the bad guys, for real.
Free the bad guys. That's, because that's everybody, needs that platform to express how they feel. You know what I'm saying? So I also know that you said about this podcast that me and you talk off camera. It's like it's a place where you want people to come and be able to express themselves and be a brother.
Be vulnerable.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
Can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
Because as black men, we done got to a place to where I feel like we ain't got no room for vulnerability no more. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We done been brainwashed to feeling like it's just aggressive. You know what I'm saying? We can't be a brother no more to, each other. Is just straight up is what they say, ops, and what I'm saying, and this, that, and the third. So we done got to that place to where, it's hard to be vulnerable. It's hard for, even if you went through the same thing as me, you know what I'm saying, even if you had the same upbringing as me, and we really should be able to relate, that same little energy, that same little history that we got that we can relate to, that made us enemies, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's scary to me, for real. It's scary.
Yeah. So what we know, guys, is that there's definitely gonna be a podcast for the upliftment of man, and if you for the movement, this is definitely something you want to tap into, something that you want to dig in and learn as much as you can learn. Even if you want to get interviewed, it's a place to what? Can somebody inbox you and just say, hey?
For sure, inbox me.
Yeah, so you all for it, huh?
Inbox me. I'm for it. If I know you, if I don't know you, I just. You know what I'm saying? Anybody, like I said, the young homies, like I told you, I met somebody at work the other day, and he just told me he got out the feds. He said by God's grace, he had 30 or something to life. Obama passed that law for some dope. He said he just got out, you know what I'm saying? And he said he'd rather do this, flip these boxes than ever go back to the joint. So, you know what I'm saying? Little conversations like that. Being able to sit down, I'm willing to talk to him. I meet you, what's up? We about politics. We ain't on here to talk about no street beefs, and how we gonna handle our street beefs. We here to talk about, okay, is a way that we can go about it a different way. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I think this is gonna be very powerful. It's not often that guys can, like I said, like we keep saying, like get to express and talk about what they've been through, and also where people it's a platform where other people can learn from it. I guess my question to you is, what in this situation or just in general in your life, what motivates you?
What motivates me?
Yeah, what got you? Like we talked about why you want to do this, but what motivates you on a day to day?
A lot of time, the kids that I work with now that I'm in the position that I'm in, and just me always having that hunger of knowing that. Yeah, I'm in a certain position in life, you know what I'm saying, to where, I'm a little bit more fortunate because of God's grace.
Yeah.
But it's cats that's I real deal love is cats that I real deal done seen that's locked that got life, you know what I'm saying? It's cats that's my best friend, you know what I'm saying? That I done seen, you know, like shoot, I lost my best friend Treese, you know what I'm saying? So it's like it's sticky situation that's out here going on in this world that's just like, nah, we gotta do better, you know?
Yeah.
We gotta do better.
So we're gonna tap into some like quick, funny, cool questions. If you can have dinner with any 3 people, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Oh yeah, that's easy, but that's hard.
Okay.
For somebody like me.
Yeah.
You know, for sure, Nip at the table all day. You
All
hear him in
day.
the background. Nip at the table. I gotta pick his brain. For sure, I gotta pick Nip's brain all the way out. I gotta pick his whole mental. Man, dead or alive, Tupac for sure. You know what I'm saying? I got cause
You only get 3 people.
Yeah, he was hungry. Pac and I'm gonna bring somebody, you know what I'm saying, that's probably left field that wouldn't nobody expect, you know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to that man out there in Chicago, FBG Duck. I'm bringing him to the table.
Well, I know that.
I'm bringing him to the table because for sure I'm bringing him to the table.
You want to talk to him too?
Yeah, for sure. He was powerful.
So all those guys we would say are influential to you.
Influential. FBG Duck, he might be my age or younger or might be a little older. Nip, you know, he was 33. Pac died at the age that he died at, you know what I'm saying? But of course, at this time, he would be older, you know what I'm saying? So I would like to talk, you know, if we can all be here. FBG Duck at his age right now, Nip at his age, and then Pac at whatever age he would be, you know what I'm saying? That and the wisdom that he would have grown even from the wisdom that he had then to now. So I would like it to be just like that if it could.
Okay, so what's 3 core values that you know that you live by? Like, okay, I'll give you an example. You know, some people say, you know, money, family, then this, or you know, faith, love, and whatever. What would you say is some core values for you, or things that you go by, or things that just, if you see these 3 words, you could think of you? What 3 words describe what you into, what motivates you, who you are as a person?
3 words. I'm gonna say integrity. You know, integrity is one for sure. Perseverance is one, I would say. And respect. You know, just simple respect, you know, integrity, perseverance, and respect. And 3 words right there that's, you know, that I'm gonna stand on, you know. For sure I'm gonna stand on them.
That's real. That's deep. That's real. That's real. You know what I'm saying? That's really real. So, you know, like we talked about, you know, you talking to this younger man. If you can say something to a younger man right now to draw them in, to let them know that you know them and that you trying to bring them in, what would you say to them?
Man, I would say a lot, but I would tell them for sure, like, I'm one of them, you know, like I'm one of them. I'm not. Yeah, I'm a teacher, you know what I'm saying? Like, I deal with this with my kids. Like, I'm a teacher, but I'm one of y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't have no dreams of going to college. I didn't have no dreams of becoming a teacher. I ain't have no dreams of being in the position that I'm in, you know what I'm saying, right now. I'm one of y'all, you know. So I'm full. I'm open arms. I ain't one. I'm not judging, you know what I'm saying? I'm one of y'all. And I love, you know, the love that I got, you know, for the youth, the love that I got for them specifically them ones that I really see myself in is abundant. So it's like, shoot, I'm one of y'all, and it's as simple as that.
Okay, we got like 1 minute or so. Real quick, if you could be any animal, what would it be?
A lion.
And why?
I don't know, not just I don't know, it's definitely a lion. You know, a lion.
All right. So, y'all, thank you for joining Neighborhood Politicz. You got to learn who you will be talking to every day, which is Big Dog Q. Tune in, you know, tap in. Don't be afraid to inbox him. You know, he's here, motivation. Neighborhood Politicz. Remember, it's just a conversation. And I'm hoping that you can grow and learn from this, y'all.
Neighborhood Politicz, we got big things coming. For sure. We got big things coming in the near future.
Yeah.
Definitely tap in if you want to do an interview. Every episode isn't going to be an interview, you know, But type in if you do want to do an interview, and we gonna get this going. You know, let's get global with it, and let's reach these different communities out here.
Good job, baby.
For sure.